All right. So we've got Roni here, an incredible guy. All rounds, all rounds. Gonna dig into your story, Ronnie. So for those who don't know, as a starting point, what were your biggest struggles at the start of this journey?
Um, I guess I wasn't comfortable with myself. I had like pretty much everything I wanted and needed around me, like a good job, a house, like even travel, luxury. No problem at all with that. But I felt like something was wrong and that I was dragging with something I I didn't want, and that was, I was overweight. I didn't know I didn't know what to do or how to start, even when I had lost some kilos, quite so many when I was younger. But this time it was like, oh, like what am I gonna do? Um, so one day, basically, a friend of mine, well, first of all, I think I have like a very big closet, and only like two or three shirts were big enough to fit me. And that kept me on a very bad mood since I started the morning when I had to dress up.
Mhm,
And it wasn't a nice feeling to start the day with, neither to continue with it
mhm,
the over the day, nor not having basically other shirts to wear until I had to do laundry.
mhm.
And then a very good friend of mine, Alejandra, who has been my friend since we were 14 or 15 years old, said like, hey, have you seen what our friend Francisco has been doing? And he looks great and he feels amazing. And she showed me, so I saw great changes in this friend of mine who had gone through the academy, who was still at the academy when I started. And I said, hey, I mean, this is impressive. And I think I I wanna try.
Yeah.
And I did. And change, um changes started to happen quite fast. And I think that it has to do with two very important things: is to have the determination, because you do need to to make up your mind and to decide if you want to start or not,
Mhm,
because there is no magic. There's help.
mhm.
There's great tools, but there is no magic, nor a magic coach. It has to do a duo. It takes two. It's a
Mhm.
duo, and it's a team that takes you on the journey. And that's the way it started, and the way that I that I went through this transformation.
Just to bring us back a little bit, Ronnie, we're gonna move on because this. I feel this is a story, right? For we can probably remember clearly, but it also feels like a completely different life, Ronnie. It feels funny talking about it. What were some of the things? What were some of the doubts getting in the way for you? Because you've tried things in the past, right? Like you tried diets, you've done all this stuff. What do you feel? What were the reasons that were holding you back then before you made the steps?
Um, I I used to think that I didn't have like the um like I wasn't genetically or biologically
Yeah.
able to achieve this body transformation.
Mm,
And so seeing other guys in my same situation who had gone through amazing changes, go through examples or the stories of other people, kind of helped, pretty much.
yeah.
And and also I was kind of, and we've spoken about this before. um it's always difficult, you want to get a trainer, you want to get um a nutritionist, you think that you need to get a specialist for
Mm,
everything, and sometimes it's difficult, and then one your trainer is not speaking to your nutritionist, um and you're not talking to them, or you're skipping the appointments and stuff. So
mm,
I thought that having a person who could help me bring together all of those needs
mm,
would pretty much help me a lot. And so that's when I found out about you, Jared, and the academy through our friend. Um, and that just made sense.
yeah.
And it did. And at some point, the fact that we have never met in person, that we
Mm,
have never been at the same time in the same city, I
yeah.
I thought that it would be a problem. And it ended up being um, pretty useful. The fact that I didn't need to travel to go and see my nutritionist. I didn't have to go through Mexico City to see my therapist, and I didn't have to get to a special gym to see a
Mm,
trainer. So that brought in those three things um,
mm.
that worked out um, that worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
I guess this is one of the things that couldn't like that couldn't happen, or that it would be more difficult to happen before the pandemic. That we have changed our minds on
Mm,
um, how to have these professional relationships with the people, these professionals you want to get in contact with. So I think that I think that worked for these 2 years in a row.
done incredible, Ronnie. What's the we're gonna move to your successes shortly, but just to clarify here, you're busy, right? It's not like you run a business, it's not like you have a lot of time. Because that's one thing that also gets in people away because they don't have time. Do you think that ever where you don't feel like you don't have the time on your hands to really do this?
Um, there's definitely investment on time, and these one-on-one meetings, and then the group meetings, and some other many things that I could have done probably better as well. But but I think that in the end, it's number one, it's a great investment. You're investing on yourself rather than buying stuff, or you
Mm,
know or yes, traveling, of course, that we most of us like. But this is you must invest time on yourself. And I
yeah.
think that the fact that you don't have to drive anywhere to meet with your coach
Mm,
um, actually saves you quite some time. I do remember years ago I was going to a therapist um, that took me about 45 to 50 minutes just to get there. Then the
yeah.
appointment was 50 minutes, and then going back to the office was another 50 minutes. So it was 2.5 hours for
Mm,
one meeting.
yeah.
So no, there's always, you must invest time on yourself, but then there are wiser ways on how to do it.
Yeah.
I think that it's also, and I've always thought about this, there is a beginning and there is an end with any kind of
Mm,
um, coaching, therapy,
mm,
processes. I mean, there is. It's just normal. Um, but you have to invest all of that time and attention while
mhm.
you're committed to this process.
Yeah. Couldn't bring this out. Can you? You're on your
Oh
phone
my
right
God.
now. Just to let's go, Ronnie. So you in the beginning, I still remember our call very well, right? So when you there was a like, hey, maybe our genetics, maybe it's not possible. I've done these diets in the past, I've done this, maybe it's my body. How have you changed today, Ronnie? Who are you now? What has changed for you?
Hmm. Um, well, I I guess I'm a guy who has always had a pretty high self-esteem. Um, but it has but there was something kind of lagging, and now I'm way past that, and and I think I have closed the circle, somehow. I always had a terrible relationship with my body since I remember, as a kid, a teenager,
Mm.
and a young adult. And the fact that I have been able to make a U-turn on that is just amazing. And especially it makes me feel that I can basically achieve anything if I achieve this, which is the thing that I thought that I could never ever do. I mean, I basically saw myself first being president of a country rather than uh than looking the way that I look today and changing the body the way that I did.
Wow, wow. How do you feel about your body today, Ronnie? Without any shyness, just how do you feel today?
Well, I feel attractive. I All the shame is the really, like, the shame is gone. I You remember, Jared, but we haven't spoken about this a while ago, but
Mm.
I had not seen myself in the mirror 3 months before we started talking. I said, no, 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 no. No, it's not the time to look myself in the mirror.
Yeah.
And nowadays, it's like I am my own motivation.
Yeah.
And I used to use other role models, um, even months ago, especially a year ago or something. And I used to go to the gym, and I saw a guy with this body, and I said, also tall like myself or whatever, and I said, hey, that's where I want to get.
Yeah.
And nowadays, even when I can, of course, um uh like, see a body and say, well, he looks great, it's me who is my own, I'm my own example, and I am, and it's through my body and through and my image that I just want to keep getting better and better, rather than taking anybody else's
Hmm.
example. And that has to do with the muscle, that the fat that I lost, the muscle that I've grown, how I've changed my posture, how, like, even, um like, I think that even when I do skincare, that my skin is so much healthier now, just because the things that I'm eating rather
Yeah.
than things that I was eating before.
Mhm.
So, you know, I I
Yeah.
I I just cannot feel of a better example than the one that you're carrying with yourself all day. And
Yeah.
this is what's happening to me right now.
Wow. You are your own role model, Ronnie. You are your inspiration. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Awesome. Yes.
Yeah, and you were. I mean, those. I mean, I think it's. We saw your pictures as well, Jared, when you started your own body and professional transformation that took you to
Mm.
where you are right now.
Mm.
And it's really impressive.
Mm.
But I wanna tell you, and of course anybody else who's watching us, like,
Yeah.
you're a pro on this, and you're a champ on calisthenics, and you won prizes, and
Mm.
this is what you do. um and it's amazing and it's great. But
Mm.
what it's most important is that this is not only for people who are going to dedicate their lives to the gym, or to modeling, or to being a coach. um
Mm.
these
Mm.
this is something that just regular people with a job or with a business, or that that they can do. and and
Yeah.
and 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 that's, I mean, and I praise you, Jared, for what you did and what you keep on doing. But what I want to say is, uh, it's not only for those
Mm,
who want to to be coaches, or who want to be professional
hmm.
models or whatever. This is just for everybody to do.
Yeah, incredible. And hey, Ronnie, that's such a powerful message what you shared, because there are a lot of people who look and hey, like, hey, it's Ronnie, you run a business. You don't your profession is not in fitness. You've struggled with
Exactly.
your body for a huge many years of your life. People could have made all those reasons for why they can't. But look at this, Ronnie. It's insane. Insane. What do you say?
Yeah,
What would you
we
say?
gotta send you we gotta send you some other pictures though. I mean, that looks
Some
an
yeah.
amazing change. But yeah.
Some other yeah. What you mentioned touch on this briefly, Lennox. You just before this interview, you were showing about the age things. Like people might say like, hey, they're 40 in their 30s or 40s, they can't make changes, they're getting older. What do you say to those people who feel like because of the age they can't change?
Well, uh, I think it's wonderful to embrace our age, and I think it's, if we're proud of what we have done, with
Mm,
our businesses, with our families, with our studies, with our lives in general. Um, it's perfect. Uh, but I'm 46. I'm 46 years old. I I think, and people have told me that I look younger than when they met me 10 years ago. That I definitely look healthier. Um, and I was talking to some friends the other day, and of course, everybody talks about how time goes fast and how old we are, and how far
mm,
away are we from high school, and how far away are from our prime.
yeah,
And I said, guys, I mean, I embrace my age, uh, but I, but given my story, I feel stronger. I feel healthier. I dare to do more stuff nowadays when I'm 46 than when I was 20 something or 30 something. So I'm just gonna enjoy this because, you know,
yeah,
I I can do whatever I want to do, and I have been doing like more sports, and I have been daring, I've been climbing, and I have been jumping, and I have been doing stuff that I wouldn't dare before, um, because I didn't have this confidence, and because I wasn't so, um, neither daring or agile, and then this
yeah,
agility, allows you to do things that you never thought that you could do
yeah.
before.
Amazing, amazing. Well, what is the trajectory now, Ronnie? So we've created these incredible changes. You're in a completely different space now. In this body, it's become normal for you. It's become this normal thing, being fit, healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the fact that I have remained probably longer here than the average, alumni,
Yeah.
for the Daring Academy has actually helped me to see that this is the new me. These are my new habits. This is
Mhm.
my this is my new day. Like, I don't see myself not going to the gym early mornings during the week.
Yeah.
I don't see myself, staying in bed, looking at my phone, or looking for things to do so that I would, um, just not go and put myself on my put myself the gear.
Yeah.
Um, so, and I think that now that I have known that there are like healthier, um, routines, like, during the day, I wouldn't be willing to go back.
Yeah.
Um, I've told you before that even when I'm traveling, and that has changed so much. Like, I'm looking for places where I have a gym where to go, or there's not a if I didn't find a gym at the hotel, then I just go to Google Maps and look for the closest gym, and I pay a daily pass, and it has just become a part of my life. And of course,
Mhm.
it's not 7 days a week, but if you can manage to go 3 4 times per week
Mhm.
when you're traveling, then you don't lose anything when you come. I mean, you haven't lost anything when you come back home.
Yeah.
So I kind of, I think it's pretty much uh, printed on rock those things, and I would be very scared if I lost that.
It's printed on a rock. It's stamped on.
Yeah, hopefully,
Well,
hopefully it's a heavy rock.
yeah. um, last thing, Ronald, what would you say to someone? Let's say is a business owner busy with time,
Yeah.
struggled with body confidence or health, diets, all this stuff in the past. They feel like they don't have the time to make the changes. They don't know if they can make the changes. There's some doubt going on. Maybe they feel like it's okay to just move, go through the motions. They're making good money. They're successful. They got friends. They got family. What would you say to them? They're considering it, but they're just a little bit scared.
Um, I I think we have always to make room for our health and our self-worth. And I can tell you about people who are very successful and who have made a pretty good living, and they live around uh, good stuff, you know. Um, there's nothing like 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 having you like having nothing around, but and be so comfortable with yourself. Like it doesn't matter how much money there is, and it doesn't matter if you have a yacht, and it doesn't matter if you have a car. If you don't feel good with yourself, not that I have them, by the way, um, but if you don't feel comfortable with yourself,
Yeah.
um, nothing you buy or get or do or whatever is probably going to give you as much um, uh, probably happiness or pride than doing this for yourself. And it was I read some probably it may sound even silly, um but there was a meme or a TikTok or whatever on the web about, you know, when you're 45 and you have a car and you have a house and you have everything, then you have made it in life. But then but then it's not true. Like when you're 45 and your back does not ache and you can walk and you can do sports and you can, that's what counts. That's really what counts. So even when when thinking about going through the academy, and it may seem that it's costly, that there is an investment in money involved,
Mhm.
then you should take a look around on what you have around that you really don't need,
Mhm.
and sell that so that you can
Wow.
actually come here, you know, if it's necessary.
Wow.
I hope I answered the question, Jared.
Ronnie, that was beautiful. You're an inspiration. Um, there's a lot of people that will see your journey, Ronnie, or how what you've created. You're doing what many people consider impossible. Um, you've done it. You're doing it, and I'm just super grateful for you, Ronnie. How far you've come, what you've created, the determination, the commitment, showing up, doing the work, being courageous. Um, this is going to inspire a lot of people. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Jared.
Yeah. Amazing, Ronnie.